When did someone's fear of being forgotten make everyone want to forget them? I remember the exact moment everything changed for my wife, Diane. We were at the nursing home, visiting her mom, who had dementia, when she looked Diane right in the face and said, "Who are you, dear?" 3 years of daily visits, bringing photo albums, retelling stories, none of it had worked. Diane's mom died never realizing her own daughter wasn't just a kind nurse named Diane. At her mom's funeral, Diane held our newborn son Mason close and whispered, "I need to remember everything about you, baby. What if I forget you like she forgot me?" From that moment on, Dan became obsessed with capturing memories. She bought this expensive camera and took it everywhere. Mason's first smile, photographed from a dozen angles, his first steps, filmed again and again until she got the perfect shot. At first, I thought it was sweet. She organized the photos into neat little albums, each labeled with dates and captions like, "Mason was extra happy on the swing set today." Our family loved them. My mom even asked Dan to help with her own photo collections. It seemed like a good thing, until it wasn't. By the time Mason was 10, I walked into his room one day and saw him taping over the camera on his wall. I asked why, and Dan came storming in, grounding him for destroying memories. That's when I noticed just how many cameras there were, even in the bathroom. I tried setting boundaries. She cried and told me I didn't understand what it felt like to be forgotten. I didn't know how to respond. Then, at Mason's birthday party, she made him blow out the candles 3 different times because the audio wasn't clear enough. He looked so frustrated. But she didn't let him open gifts until she got the version she wanted. And things got worse. When Mason had his first sleepover at a friend's house, Diane followed him with her camera. He called me crying because the other kids were laughing at him. When his school banned her from filming events, I found out she had bribed the security guard to get cafeteria footage. I told her I'd leave if she didn't get help. She said, "You just want me to forget our son." Mason was 14 when he told me he hated her. I kept asking to be patient. I said she was going through something, but even I didn't believe it anymore. At 17, Mason had his first girlfriend, Paige. He didn't tell us for months. I should have realized that meant something was really wrong. Diane, of course, found out through one of her hidden cameras. Soon, she was showing up at restaurants and filming through windows while they were on dates. When Mason finally confronted her, she said, "I just want to remember your first love, sweetheart. It's a big milestone." And it didn't stop. One night, I caught her in Paige's driveway at midnight, trying to mount a camera on their car. When I tried to pull her away, she said, "I need to know what he's doing, always." But the worst moment of all was the night Paige's parents called me. Furious, they had caught Diane outside Paige's bedroom window with a camera. When I got there, Paige's dad showed me footage Diane had taken. Hours of it, Paige doing homework, changing clothes, and worse, her and Mason kissing on her moment together, filmed like a wildlife documentary. When I confronted Day, she looked confused and said, "I'm documenting his journey into manhood." Like it was totally normal. Mason saw the footage and threw up in the yard. He sobbed, "Mom, how could you?" while Paige cried in her mom's arms. The next day, Paige broke up with Mason. She told him, "I can't be with someone whose mom is this messed up." Mason came home broken. He looked Diane in the eye and said, "You ruined my life." She just smiled sadly and said, "One day, you'll understand this was all out of love." That night, I packed our bags and took Mason to stay at my sister's. But Diane wasn't done. At 3:00 a.m., she broke into my sister's house to film Mason sleeping. One last time, my sister called the police. And on Mason's 18th birthday, instead of celebrating, we were in court. He filed for a restraining order. The judge reviewed 52,000 hours of footage, including recordings from the bathroom. There wasn't a single day without one since Mason turned 12. The restraining order was granted instantly. Mason left for college and changed his number. He didn't tell me where he was going. A month later, I got one message from him. It said, "I don't know who I am without a camera." He hasn't spoken to me since. Last month, my sister saw Diane at the grocery store. She'd adopted a baby boy. And yes, there were already cameras mounted in the stroller. I pray for that child every single day.